we will continue to vamp for a minute, and then we will get this party, as they say, started. Anybody else remember Corn? You remember Corn? I love Corn.
I try to make funnies sometimes. I make no guarantees they actually land.
Yeah, most of them are really bad, but when he hits a
Yeah.
good one, it's really good.
Well, that's how it is, you know. What is it Stephen King does? He writes like 1,000 words a day, like in terms of lines or sentences and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot, and maybe one or two of them are actually good.
Something like that. Yeah.
And
Brute force.
then they take the bad ones and they use those for the adaptations of movies of his books.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I love his writing. I love it. And just so much of it does not translate to screen.
All right, that's a minute.
I enjoyed Maximum Overdrive, but it was goofy as hell.
Yes, it was.
Dude,
I thought it was a great premise.
it had the Green Goblin in it, sort of,
Yep.
as a
The
truck
Green Goblin truck.
for some reason.
Hmm. I was like, there was an episode of Futurama that was very in vain with Maximum Overdrive when the robots all took over.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, right, we good? Let's go. Ow, jam. Wait, should I say that for this episode?
What's the other option?
I don't know. What do you? What's something
Dun, dun,
Final
dun,
Fantasy
dun,
related?
dun, 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 dun,
How
dun.
that's not a phrase though. You could say
No, 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 no,
Kupo.
no, 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 no. Oh, Spoony
You
Bar.
you spoony. How did you?
Spoony
Oh,
Bard.
you spoony bard. No, I got it. Ha 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 ha.
That's a good one too. Right then. Hello. This is the Manapool episode, as far as I can tell, 718. I'm pretty sure that's right. I hope everyone enjoyed last week's episode that was not the Manapool, and also definitely not Monday Night Magic. Sorry it was so long. But we hadn't spoken out loud to each other in a long time, so we sort of got carried away. But yeah, it was me and Bill or Squee, whatever, and Clues. And we just talked about nonsense, and it was glorious. So I hope everyone enjoyed that. Because I sure did. But now we're back with these regularly scheduled dorks. Let's see here. We've got Brian, who we will call Final Fantasy 15. Did you play 15?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll call him Final Fantasy 15. We've got Mike, who we can only call Final Fantasy 10.
That's it.
And then we've got
Very
Dirk,
true.
who we're going to call 14, even though I don't think he ever played 14.
I played 14. I think on Steam it says I played for like 6 hours.
Oh, so he did play 14. See, I just picked it because it was an MMO and you used to have an MMO problem.
I mean, I played it. I didn't play far enough into it to be like, oh man, this is great. And know who all the 14 characters are, but...
And I forgot to say who I am. I'm Chewy, and I'm at the moment 6. Because I finally started the Pixel Remaster Final Fantasy 6. Which, when I do the next stream, I will be doing the Opera House. So I'm very excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
So you should totally come when I'm streaming Final Fantasy 6. Thus far, I haven't found anything to complain about. All of the quality of life changes are good. I love everybody's sprite remaster. Edgar especially looks very smart in his like blue and purple with actual boots instead of that weird green and black that he had in the Super Nintendo version. Like I'm enjoying it. I haven't hit any of the music. The remasters don't sound good. Apparently there are a couple. Some people apparently have an issue with the Opera House, but fairly certain those people are wrong.
They are.
Yeah. But anyway, in case you can't tell, we're talking Final Fantasy again, but we're not doing the bosses. This time we're taking our first look at the Magic set, because for some reason the Final Fantasy set is going to be standard legal. There are 7 if you count Foundations, but didn't Foundations come out at the end of last year? See, nobody even remembers. There's so much magic
I
crap
don't
anymore.
know.
I think so.
So there are 6 standard legal sets releasing this year.
6 standard legal sets
Plus
that'll all be
Foundations.
legal for 3 years.
Yeah.
I've said my thoughts on this.
Because apparently Wizards doesn't want people to actually play standard, because that's way too much to keep up with.
It is. And
So this year there's going to be 6.
Yeah, 3 Magic IP sets and 3 Universes Beyond sets that are all standard legal. So Ether Drift.
And they're going to be standard legal when the next ones come out and the ones last year.
Yeah. Standard doesn't Standard rotates every year, I guess, as usual, but things are in it for 3 years now
yes.
instead of the usual 2 that it had been for a very long time.
There used to be that the most sets was like 4 sets were standard legal at any given time.
Well, I think
No.
it was
can't have
probably
been that
about 6.
7.
Yeah,
7.
so 6
Yeah.
plus.
Counting a core set.
Yeah, 6 plus
Okay.
a core set came out. Well, we're legal at any given time, but this year alone, it's gonna be 6. So that's Ether Drift. What's the new Tarkir called?
Dragonstorm.
Dragonstorm.
Yeah, Tarkir Dragonstorm. The space one that I already forgot what it's called.
I don't know that I even knew the name of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you did, because we talked about it a while back, but I forgot. And then Final Fantasy, Spider-Man, and Edge of Eternity. Thank you, chat. And they recently revealed that the other Universes Beyond set that they hadn't revealed yet is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, I saw something about that.
Which is cool, but there's already gonna be 15 Final Fantasy games and Spider-Man legal and standard. Like, do we really need? Okay.
I mean, yeah, like these are all really great things, and you're just overindulging, you know? So the impact of each one is kind of getting lost.
Yeah. But oh well.
But how am I going to have Wolverine fight Cloud and Aang?
I mean, they might be fighting in your headcanon. In mine, they're all having sex. This is older Aang, from
Yeah.
from right before Korra. Let's not be getting weird about it, y'all.
Oh yeah, because it's not weird already.
Anyway, now that said, I have said at least over and over and over, there's too much crap going into standard. I think Universes Beyond being standard legal is a mistake on multiple levels, and I think it's just diluting Magic in general. That said, like we did with the Lord of the Rings, we're probably going to go pretty hard on Final Fantasy, because a thing that we've been doing, as Brian likes to point out, a thing that we've been doing for longer than a decade. We haven't hit 2 decades yet, but we're getting there. is try to take other stuff that we like and put it into Magic. And so now they're doing that
Yeah.
officially. And
Yeah.
while it's possible to have the thought, this is not a good idea and this is really cool at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Yes.
Because those are the two ideas that I have. It is possible to have
Yeah.
two ideas in your head at the same time. They do not.
Oh, true.
They're not mutually exclusive.
No. I will say, I know we discussed this before, but I agree with Chewy. Too many sets in Standard. I agree having Universes Beyond in Standard is problematic. And yet, selfishly, as I play almost entirely on Arena now, I want to be able to use these cards in my Standard deck because that's pretty much all I play. So maybe it makes me a hypocrite. But I have both of these thoughts in my head at the same time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's to head off anyone who might be going, well, if you guys complain about it all the time and yet you're going to spend like 4 episodes talking about it. Yes. Yes, we are. Because again, not mutually exclusive. Now, these previews are not, the set isn't, I thought that the previews had started and we would be doing Final Fantasy for a while because we just had a Magic set because stupid me thought they would alternate Magic and Universes Beyond. No, they're not. There's 2 Magic sets in a row because the next set coming out is Tarkir Dragonstorm. All right. But because there was a big something, I don't know, a Magic Con they're calling them now. I don't know why, but they just dumped just a bunch of Final Fantasy cards on us. And it's enough to fill an episode. So, hey, let's talk about those. And the dorks were like, yeah, all right. Because that's that many we don't have to try to fit in like 2 months when the actual previews start. It was a Magic Con. Okay, thank you, Chaz. Magic Con Chicago. So apparently they're Magic Cons now. I don't know. Since I don't do Monday Night Magic anymore and I don't have to keep track of any of that crap, I don't. And you know what? It's glorious. If I could have scrapped Monday Night Magic but kept doing a weekly podcast with Bill and Clues, I absolutely would have. And I tried, and they were both like, nah, we're just going to stop. And I was like, yeah, all right. Which is why last week's show that went up on the podcast feed and on the YouTube channel were so good. It was so good. But anyway. Real quick, as always, Chivos for Charity stream March 21st, 22nd, 23rd. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll be trying desperately to do 12 hours each day, either 11 to 11 or 12 to 12. I haven't decided yet. Because for one, I can stop earlier, but for one, I can sleep longer, you know? So I haven't decided yet, but it'll be one of those. We're raising money for Trans Lifeline. You've probably listened to this several times, but real quick, I got a bunch of achievements to get in video games. I'm going to spin the wheel. It's going to give me a random achievement. I'm going to go try to get it. If you donate $10, you just get a free Steam game off of my massive list, over 1,000 games of games to give away. And every $10 you get gets you a what is the word? Why can I never remember this word? Raffle. A raffle ticket, essentially, including the first 10. So if you give $10, then you get a game and an entry to get another game. And you can pick it off of the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet will be revealed in chunks as we raise more money, you know, as an incentive to raise more money. And yeah, every time I achieve an achievement or we hit a financial goal or a milestone rather, which is every $100 or an hour, I think it was last year, I will be doing another giveaway. So come hang out. You have to be present to win. So, you know, come hang out on the stream, listen for your name, that sort of thing. And I'll be playing games, trying to achieve achievements for 3 days, and then I will die. Not literally, because rule 1, but figuratively. But I'm super excited. We've got, at the moment, there are 46 games in my category here for that have achievements that I can go for. Oh my god, I didn't realize it had gotten that many. That's a lot. And I'm going to try to get some dorks to come visit or hop on a call. You know, these guys and Bill and Clues and maybe other people. Whatever. I don't know. So yay. That's, again,
Yay.
March 21, 22, 23. All day and night. All of those days. On twitch.tv/themanapool, because, you know, that's where I stream. So it's a live stream. So that's where you go. Okay? Okay. I figure since this is Final Fantasy, we might get a couple extra listeners, so I wanted to get that out of the way early. But all right. So shall we jump right in?
Yes, with both feet.
I was gonna say with some number of feet that is probably greater than 1, and then Brian just went right for it.
Hey, man. When the opportunity comes.
Bah. So, do we start at the top, or do we start with like the characters that people know?
Let's start with the characters people know.
Oops, what have I done?
I mean, we're gonna hit all these, right? But
In theory. I pushed the wrong button. Okay, so we'll go down to multicolor then.
All right.
Should we do...
so where does it say which one? Oh, there. I see it now. Okay.
What?
Like which one Fantasy is from. Okay.
Ooh, let's do the Cloud and Sephiroth from the starter kit. So Planet's
Sure.
Champion and Planet's Heir. What's the starter kit again? I forgot.
I think they're made to play against each other.
It's like two decks. I think that's right.
I think
Is
so.
it
Hang
kind of like
on.
the elves and goblins, the versus decks
No, those were dual decks.
or dual decks?
I think these are like roughly that idea, but less. There's been so many freaking Magic products that they've introduced over the years that I... Control F, starter kit. Okay, there's where it says it, and there's where there's a picture of it. Okay, it doesn't tell me what a starter kit is. It just assumes we know.
So this picture of the starter kit seems to have 2 decks in it.
Yeah, Cloud and Sephiroth, they're not the commanders, but they're the faces of the deck.
Yeah.
Here we go. Chifuji said 260 card decks. You also get codes to unlock them in Arena. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, neat.
Okay, so let's start, I guess, with Cloud, because he's the... Yeah, in this case, he is the good guy. I was going to say, technically, he's the good... No, he's the good guy. Just because he's the good guy doesn't mean he's a good guy, though. To switch up what
Ralph did nothing
Zangief said
wrong.
in Wreck-It Ralph. Was that Zangief? I think that was Zangief.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Crush
Who-
man between my thighs.
Hot. Some... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not going to tell you what popped into my head when Dirk said that. So, somebody read Cloud while I sit here and giggle.
All right, well, Cloud, Planet's Champion. For 3 red, white, he's a legendary creature, human soldier mercenary, who's a 4/4. And he says during your turn, as long as Cloud is equipped, it has double strike and indestructible.
Good lord.
And all the breakdown and all that good stuff. In addition, equip abilities you activate that target Cloud costs 2 less to activate.
I mean, that's...
Oh, so like equipping him.
Yeah,
So if it
yeah.
equips for 5, it only equips for 3.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That also
that's-
means
that's
if
pretty
it
good
costs 2 to
for-
equip, it costs 0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's it's pretty good for your, guy that you want to be swinging every turn. Like double
So
strike and
assume-
indestructible on a 4/4. Even if it doesn't buff his power, he's a 4/4 with double strike and indestructible when he attacks. Bro.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I was thinking this is the Cloud from Advent Children.
Looks like, yeah. Also, it's
Yeah.
not when he attacks. It's during your turn. What? Oh. That's kind of gross.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Cloud...
so they can't.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so there's nothing like, since it's not an attack trigger, they can't like try to kill him before combat or something. They just got to do it before he's actually equipped.
Yeah, or before it's your turn.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, Cloud in Advent Children was basically not able to be defeated in combat. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He also had, what was it, like 6 or 7 swords that all combined to make like the new Neo Buster Sword or something.
Yeah. It was like a nesting doll of swords.
So that's kind of what this reminds me of.
Apparently,
is,
I need to watch
you know,
this again because I don't remember that at all. I haven't seen an Advent Children in a very long time because it's essentially just a big music video. Like nothing that happens matters, but it's awesome. I just remember everyone like throwing Cloud upwards.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
there's the giant fight scene and people keep chucking him up and then he fights things on the way up and then there's another teammate there who continues to throw him upwards and I'm like, okay.
My favorite thing in the special, like whenever you watch the behind the scenes, it was like, yeah, we just turned gravity off.
Clearly.
It made everything so much easier.
It was either that or big head mode. And, we went with
Oh.
no gravity.
I guess it would have to be big head mode. They couldn't do DK mode because it's not a Nintendo property.
Yeah.
That's too bad. DK mode is way better. That's Donkey Kong mode for anyone who's not old. It's where you get a big head and big
DK.
arms. But anyway, Cloud's kind of boring.
Yeah, it's good. But
Yeah, it's good,
not much
but there's
good.
not much to say really.
And it's solidly white red. Like, this is clearly
Oh yeah,
in their wheelhouse.
yeah. So what is his opposite number here do?
Sephiroth, planet's heir. For 4, a blue and a black, so 6 mana. For a 4/4, human avatar soldier. He has vigilance. When he enters, creatures your opponents control get -2/-2 until end of turn. So a bit of a massacre worm effect going on there. And whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Sephiroth.
That's a combo I've done before on 2 different creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Like play a massacre worm with a I forget what it is out, and then just pile a pile of counters on him and go ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Combat like.
Yep.
And now it's just on one guy.
And not to mention, I mean, creatures can die from his enters the battlefield effect, but they can also die for any number of reasons, and he's just like, yes.
Oh, we've lost Dirk.
Yeah.
Notice that he sent us a text.
Yeah, I saw
His
because
power
I have
flickered.
since I have streamer mode turned on, I didn't hear Dirk fall off the call. So yeah, Dirk's power flickered. He'll be back in a minute. Whoops. But anyway, yeah, Sephiroth is less boring than Cloud, but still there isn't a whole lot to say. 'Cause,
It's
again,
very straightforward.
They're in the starter deck. They're not going to be super ridiculously complicated.
That's right. It's just supposed to introduce. If it's meant to be some kind of introductory product, then it's just supposed to introduce players to some neat things.
And they are both definitely neat things.
Mm-hmm.
like my Timmy, that is not a code for any of my anatomy, but my Timmy is jumping up and going ooh at both of them.
Yeah. And this is what the starter decks should do, is they should be like, hey, here's some big kind of crazy guys. This is what this gets you for 5 mana and some equipment. And this is what 6 mana gets you in blue and black. They're both perfect example of these colors. They're both iconic characters, and they both have an impact when they hit the board. So yeah, does
Yeah.
and yet I don't think these are crazy enough to do anything at higher levels of competitive play.
Are they
Could be wrong.
Are they
but
even legal in standard? I don't remember if starter deck things are.
who knows?
That used to be complicated back in the day.
I remember with the Planeswalker decks, you remember how they basically always made those plain versions of the Planeswalkers worse because what they didn't want is people feeling like you had to buy those decks for
Yeah.
standard. But I'm not sure about the starter decks.
Oh well.
Like,
Someone
dual
either
decks-
in
dual
chat
decks
will
were
let us
not.
know, or someone will tell us later. Because I'm certainly not going to go try to figure it out. Well,
I did see on Facebook someone pointing out the mercenary creature type on Cloud, and then just wondering about any other members of his crew that might be mercenaries as well, and reminding everyone that Kateran Summons exists for a single black mana, a sorcery. You can search your library for a mercenary and put it in your hand.
that is amazing. Yep, that makes me happy. Oh, this other version of Cloud is a mercenary too. Dig it. So, shall we move on to these commanders?
Yes.
Anyway, let's see.
Commandants.
So, hey Mike,
Yes.
you wanna read Titus, since that's the only game that you have deep knowledge of?
Yes, I will. Titus, not Titus, no matter how characters in other games might pronounce it out loud, because that's stupid.
Yeah.
Apparently,
It's an
that's like the Japanese official pronunciation, and I'm like, I mean, they can be wrong if they want.
Yeah. I mean, the guy who invented the word GIF thinks it's pronounced GIF. Some
Yeah,
people just don't
because
understand.
he's allowed to be wrong. It's fine.
Yeah. So, Titus, Yuna's Guardian. This is a Bant-colored commander. Green, white, blue. Just costs 3 for a 3/3 human warrior. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may move a counter from target creature you control onto a second target creature you control. That's always fun. I love doing stuff like that. There's another ability. It's covered by an ability word, cheer. I don't know if this is used on more than one thing. Whenever one or more creatures you control with counters on them deal combat damage to a player, you may draw a card and proliferate.
Oof.
Do this only once each turn.
Yeah, I like that. Welcome back, Dirk.
Is he back?
I don't know.
His thing
Yes,
is
I'm
on.
here. Made the sound. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So,
So
I really like
Sorry, God.
yeah.
So Titus.
Titus. Titus, like the tide. He's very water-based. Titus.
Yeah, which is why Titus is dumb.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Infinius says that cheer is a flavor word technically. Oh, like in the D&D
Yeah,
set.
it's just the way the rest of the text is formatted. I don't know. It could be something that could be extended to other cards. That's why I was wondering if it was an ability word. But okay, if it's a flavor word, then fine. That means this is the only card it appears on.
What would if it was an ability word, what would the ability be? Creature with counter deal combat damage to a player? Then
Yeah. Then do something. Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
like landfall is whenever land enters do something.
Yeah. All right. So Flavorfully, I don't know anything about Titus. So how does this make any sense at all? Like mechanically, the
Yes.
card is really cool. I like it.
Yeah, it plays very interesting because he's the leader and he's also a support character. So not only does he get out there and get in front and beat face, but he's also really good at buffs and stuff for the rest of your team.
Really,
Yeah.
that's cool.
He's very status based. If you look at his fear grid and his natural progression, he's the one that learns haste, slow, things like that. And one of the first nodes you unlock is cheer, which is just it's a very minor buff. I don't know that I've ever really used it a whole lot, but
Yeah, it's only useful in that very early part of the game, like when you're just starting to explore the sphere grid.
Oh, what does it do?
That I can't remember if it's a small heal or if it's a small power boost.
That's okay. I
remember,
got
Brian?
it. Special ability
it's
that
something like that.
targets all active party members, raises strength and resistance to physical damage. Its
Okay.
effect stacks up to 5 times per party member, and remains until the end of battle unless KO'd or petrified. Oh, raises strength stat by 1 point per cast. Okay.
Okay, so yeah.
It is a very small buff, yeah,
It's
and
a very early game party buff.
yeah, it gives one strength and physical damage reduction, sort of like protect.
Okay.
And we used it.
What was that, Dirk?
Tells you how often we used it that we're all going, I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I mean, I've never played this game, so I have an excuse. I don't know what you guys' problem is. Jesus. So that's really cool. I saw, I posted it in the preview thread in the Discord because I thought it was one image, but he works really well with the what's it called, the Strixhaven Arena, Strixhaven Stadium.
Oh yeah.
The Strixhaven Stadium, you tap to add colorless and put a point counter on it. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, you may remove a point counter. When a creature
Well, you
you
have to,
control
right?
deals combat damage to an opponent, you put a point counter on it. And if it has 10 or more point counters, you remove them all, and that player loses the game. So whoever got hit. Excuse me. So Titus, now he only puts counters onto he only moves counters between creatures, but he has a built-in proliferate. And
Wait,
if you,
so you may remove a counter for the stadium if someone hits you?
no, you do remove
Okay.
because you got scored on, so you lost a point. See.
Yeah, okay.
Plus, he's an athlete. He plays blitzball professionally. So it just makes sense to put him in a stadium.
It's true.
Yeah. But yeah, like Brian or Mike, somebody said he's the leader and he can get out there as a beat stick because he is a 3/3 for 3. Granted, it's 3 different colors, but it's Bant, so it's pretty easy to get those 3 colors going relatively early.
That's not difficult.
Yeah. And then he's got this other stuff going on. Okay. It's good to know that this one is somewhat flavorful. I like it.
Now people are dragging me in the chat. No, the first time Chewy read it, he said you may. That's why I was confused.
I did?
Yes, you did.
Oh. My bad. Did I really, chat, or did he just hear it? There are a lot of words this card doesn't have on it. The famously popular "you lose a point when the other team scores" mechanic in any professional game. It's the lead, damn it. It's not the actual scoreboard. Shut up. Anyway, so that's Titus. His outfit is stupid, and I kind of hate him, even though I've never played that game.
Mm-hmm.
but that's okay. I'll get to it eventually. I'm on
He
6.
should.
I'm very close.
He can be very positive, which I mean, hey, at
Which I
least
have
he's
a
not.
problem
I'm
with.
so brute. He's like the anti-Squall. So
So I would hate him for different reasons than I hate Squall. Gotcha.
yes,
Roland said you hate him because he beat your ass in Kingdom Hearts like a dozen times. Oh, he did. No, wait, that wasn't.
on
No,
Destiny Islands.
yeah, that wasn't Titus. That was Waka with his stupid ball.
Really?
Waka's in the game.
You
Yeah,
just have
Waka
to get
with
the
the stupid
timing
ball
right.
beat me on Destiny Islands a lot. Titus isn't Titus the first one you fight? He's easy.
He's got the stick.
He's got a stick.
Selfie's the easiest, the one with the jump rope.
Oh, she the easiest? Okay, maybe he did beat me a couple times then.
But Waka is just a matter of if you can play tennis with Ganondorf in Zelda, you can handle Waka, I think. You just have to make sure you're locked on.
I never got that
Anyway.
far in Ocarina, and it was the timing for the parry was my problem with Waka. Having to stop and plant and then press the parry button. Because if you don't stop and plant and then press the parry button, you just roll.
That's true.
But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. So that's Titus. Who the hell is Y'shtola?
She's from 14?
Yeah, she's from 14.
And I never played that. I didn't play any of the MMOs 11 or 14. So to Dirk.
I guess so.
Dirk, you know who Y'shtola is, or are you just gonna read the card?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. My enjoyment in Final Fantasy is kind of learning how the world works and what's going on with it. And 14, even 6 hours in, I was in like the starting zone area, and because I think that was like that they were doing a promotion where it was like you can come in, you get to do the starting area up to like level 10, or you could get in, but you couldn't like go deep in until you like paid for the game. But they did kind of like how WoW does it's free up to level 20 or whatever it was, and then you can't go past level 20 until you paid for the game. Final Fantasy 14 did the same thing, so I tried it, and I essentially stayed in the starting area, and so I never left that. So no, I never got to get into the story. I know almost nothing about what's going on.
So chat says she's one of the main NPCs. People refer to her as the waifu of the game, and this specifically is from the Shadowbringers expansion.
She's a cat.
I know Shadowbringers, when they introduced, I think it's the Dark Knight, or it's it's the Dark Knight is what Cecil was.
Yeah.
So I think that they introduced that in that one.
Not that it matters. Read the card.
Anyway, Y'shtola, Knight's Blessing.
Nope.
For one white,
Knight's blessed.
blessed. Oh, Knight's blessed. My bad. So for one white, blue, black. Make sure I get all my colors right. Legendary creature, Cat Warlock, who's a 2/4 with Vigilance. All right, text time. At the beginning of each end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, you draw a card. Sweet. All right, whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, Y'shtola deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life.
Okay.
If a player lost...
So basically
each player...
Yeah, you want to play her with like artifacts or enchantment or instants and sorceries.
Right.
Yeah. She's not in red.
She's
so...
in Esper colors, isn't she?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
each end step. I did not catch that.
Oh,
All
yeah.
over the whole table.
Mm.
Whenever you wait, chat said, I assume she does not see herself enter. What? She's not a non-creature spell, so she
Well,
doesn't.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
She doesn't care if she sees her. What?
and no, permanents with when you cast something trigger can never see themselves because they're not on the battlefield when they're being cast. They're on the stack.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you missed the non-creature. Okay. I got confused because you got confused. I'm like, hold on, what have I missed? I sort of zoned out for a minute while Dirk was reading the card. So I have no idea if
there's-
this is flavorful or not, but it's nice, like blue, black, white. I guess is vigilance, but the rest of her is very much blue black.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of stuff in Esper colors that could easily be three or more value and do stuff.
Oh yeah. Plus, because oh, and it says if a player lost 4 or more life, not an opponent. So if anybody is attacking anybody and doing any good, you're going to be drawing cards, even if it's you.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if I like have to kill one of Dirk's creatures because, you know, some reason, and then Dirk sends his entire army at me, at least I get to draw a card.
But is that when it says lost 4, that doesn't mean like life loss. It can also include damage.
Yeah, damage causes life loss. So
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, they must have reduced their life by at least
By
4.
4. Okay.
yeah.
4 more. Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. I have a dumb question.
Mm-hmm.
Just because this is only slightly related to this card. If Dirk hits me for 6 and then I gain 4 life, does the game count that as losing 4 or more life this turn when she triggers? I can't remember
Yeah,
how that
yeah.
works in Magic.
Well, yeah, it's just no, losing life is either losing life or taking damage. There's not some. It doesn't use some counter that tracks the
Okay,
total change.
that's
in
what I
life,
thought.
The net change in life over the turn.
But because she triggers at the end of turn, I didn't know if it would do some sort of stupid thing like look at a life total or something. I'm overthinking Magic is what I'm doing.
You are.
Yeah, because it's been too long. It hasn't been long enough. All right. So you stole is cool, but I just realized we've been going for a hot minute and we've done like 4 cards. But these are the important ones. So
Yeah.
So quick rundown since I apparently fell off the earth. Terra, mills 2 cards.
We haven't done Terra
flies.
yet.
Oh, you haven't?
Yeah.
No,
we've done Titus
you
and
literally
Yasholta.
missed part of Titus.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you okay?
So hey, Brian, you want to do the other cloud?
Sure, I'll do the other cloud. Cloud X Soldier for 2 and a Naya, a red, a green, and a white. He is a human soldier mercenary.
Yep.
So I think that's the same as his starter deck. However, a couple different things here. He's a 4/4 with haste. And when Cloud enters, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to it. Him.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then whenever Cloud attacks, draw a card for each equipped attacking creature you control. Then, if Cloud has power 7 or greater, create 2 treasure tokens. And notice those treasure tokens come in untapped.
So
Draw a card for each equipped attacking creature you control. Whew.
which means chances are you're always drawing 1 card because unless you played him with no equipment out.
Yeah.
So like that's good. He only needs 3 power to get to 7. So never mind. Roland just said what I was about to say. I bet there's gonna be like a Buster Sword that does stuff and gives him +3 attack. But Roland typed it in the chat before I could get it out.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Roland.
But like, this card is neat and all, but to me, this isn't Cloud. This is just so. By the way, we should say, I don't think we said it yet. Titus and Y'shtola and this Cloud and Terra that we'll read next are the commanders for the commander decks.
Yeah, which means there will be other versions of these characters almost certainly in the set proper.
Probably, yeah.
There'll be so many Clouds.
But like, this one was just like, oh, it's generic equipment commander in Nye colors. Great.
Yeah.
Like, I get that they want Cloud to be equipment, apparently, because big sword, I guess. But this one doesn't, as far as Cloud, like, why is a power 7 or greater create 2 treasure tokens? What is that? I don't get it.
There might be some more
Cloud,
symmetry with treasure tokens in his.
I guess, I don't know. I don't know how the materia system worked at Final Fantasy VII, and if it gave bonuses like that.
Not really, no. Materia is just stuff you slot into your weapon to make it to give you abilities, like
they do give you little boosts here and there.
Yeah.
Most of the materia that is in the game boosts your magic, but that's about it. Like magic damage.
They give you your abilities essentially. Some can also increase your stats, like hit points, etc. So.
Oh, Chifuji said maybe it represents killing an enemy and finding Gil. That could be.
Maybe. I think it's more probably just playing to whatever the theme of this commander deck is.
Yeah.
Which is probably artifacts between equipment and treasure tokens.
Mm-hmm. Or, hear me out. 2 treasure tokens, because what is he?
A mercenary?
Right there.
Oh, he's getting paid.
Dollar bills.
That actually makes a lot more sense now that you point that out.
Yeah, I like that explanation way better.
Nice one, Dirk.
Where's my money? I'll get you your money.
Damn it,
Merc.
Dirk. Lord. So yeah, like I said, Cloud just struck me as kind of generic. You know, here's a commander that does commander things. Terra, I'm sorry to say, also struck me as that. So Terra, Herald of Hope. She is the protagonist, the main character of the first half of Final Fantasy VI. She costs what did we determine in chat? A Mardu?
A Mardu.
A red, a white, and a black. That's Mardu, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah. And she is a human wizard warrior. Sadly, she's not an Esper or a human Esper or anything like that, because that would probably get... I wonder if the word Esper is going to be used. Does Shiva say Esper? No.
I wonder if it might show up as a card, but
Shiva
not
is that?
What was that?
Which
Mike?
Shiva is that? Is that the Final Fantasy X Shiva?
That is the...
Yes.
Yeah, 10 Shiva. So that would probably be not an Esper anyway.
No, they weren't Esper in that game.
Yeah. So anyway, Terra, Herald of Hope, for 3 mana is a 3/3 human wizard warrior. She has Trance, which is a thing that she does in Final Fantasy VI. At the beginning of combat on your turn, mill 2 cards. Terra gains flying until end of turn. So I think that is supposed to be representing like the first time that she morphed. It's called Morph in the original Final Fantasy VI. In the Pixel remaster, I haven't gotten her back in the party yet, but isn't it called Trance?
Yes,
think so,
I believe so.
yeah.
Yeah. So the first time that she does this, she loses control, loses her mind, and flies away like someone who's just lost their mind and lost control.
Dude, first time that happened in the story, and I had the speaker way up. I had no idea what was going to happen. That scream that she let out
Oh God,
freaked me. Jumped out of my seat.
I bet. So, yeah, that's the trance ability. When you go into combat, she mills 2 and then gains flying, which is a little weird, but okay. Whenever Terra deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 2. When you do, return target creature card with power 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped.
Searching
Which again
for friends.
is fine. Like, that's a really cool commander ability to have. That has nothing to do with Terra as far as I can think of.
In the world of Ruin, when you're like looking for your companions, maybe
Well,
like
then you're
trying to get the
Celeste.
yeah, but Terra's I Square has famously said they didn't really want any one person being the protagonist of 6. To me, Terra, because she represents so many of the themes, and because she's the first one you really get, was always the main character. I like Celeste, okay.
I would combat
And
that
then-
by saying once you hit the midpoint, she's no longer the main character. She is one of the side characters, and it switches to Celeste being your primary protagonist.
And I think that you are probably correct. I'm just coming at it from an emotional perspective. But I think from a purely storytelling point as well as where the game goes, I agree. And again, for me, especially the first time I played through, it was a bit jarring. I'm like, where's Terra? And then I
Right?
spent a lot of the time after that being like, okay, hey Sabin, hey Edgar, where's Terra? So I could see them trying to tie that in here. I realize Celeste is the main character when you're looking for friends, but they all eventually join up. So except for Shadow, if you made the mistake like I did, dude, it
Yeah.
panicked me. I was like, ah.
Anyway, back to this card. I just don't
Right.
like that has nothing to do with Terra mechanically. They slapped the word trance on her, and
'Cause
then
it's
they just
Terra.
made an
Yeah.
unrelated card. So this is the first one that I read and went, okay. Like, there's no resurrecting. I mean, I get it. It's to offset the mill 2 cards, I guess. You can get, hey, when she punches someone, you can get some of that stuff back. Oh, all right. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's
I'm hoping we see better, well, more resonant versions of Terra, because Terra's an awesome character, and hashtag Terra deserves better.
She really does. Yeah. Like the 2 commander faces here of the games that I've played don't do anything for me. Titus is really cool, especially now that y'all have explained that he's a support guy and a frontliner. Like, that's cool. And Yustola just has another neat commander ability. I have no idea if that's good for her or not, but that's a really nice commander to have. So that one I'm okay with. So well. So now
Yeah,
what?
I'm
Should we just-
wondering.
What?
I'm wondering with her, like, kind of what Brian's talking about is the other characters potentially are there, and they're gonna have power 3 or less, and so when she deals damage, she's gonna help dig through and create the party.
I
Kind of
really
thing.
feel like you're reaching.
I don't know. Titus has power 3. Has power 3.
They're in different decks.
I know, but
Okay.
just stating. Stola, power 2, which is less than 3. Just saying.
Also in a different deck. Cloud
That's not the
has
point.
power
That would
4,
not work.
but still in a different deck.
But he's in a different deck.
Yeah. I should point out, which Chifuji just pointed out, the decks, each of these decks that they're in, so are themed to their game. So like Cloud's deck is the Final Fantasy VII deck. Terra's a 6, Titus is 10, Stola's 14. And they're gonna have a bunch of stuff from those in those specific games. Oh, Chifuji said Terra is specifically the back half of 6. Oh. If you say so. How do you know that?
Assembling the party.
I'm going to guess they said that sometime out loud. Maybe she'll get to kill Funbaba. Remember Funbaba? I
remember
got that name
Baba.
right.
And then, yeah,
Freaking
Doomgaze
Funbaba.
and all of them.
Yeah, but Funbaba was Terra's...
Yeah,
the
like
only
kind of
thing
the
that
end-
Terra did in the second half of the game.
Yeah,
was
kind of the
fight
end of
Funbaba.
her arc. Yeah,
Yeah.
cast bio over and over again.
Yeah. Get poisoned, nerd. Anyway. Right. So, I guess we should finish out the gold cards and then go back to the top?
Sure.
All right. Well, there's 3 at the top. Oh, and that's it. Well, there's Yuffie. So they're doing a type of showcase called... What was it called? Damn it, I forgot already. Hang on. Where are they? Here we go. Final Fantasy Through the Ages, which they're taking old Final Fantasy art, putting it on Magic cards, and giving it the Godzilla treatment. I don't know what we're calling that these days. That's just what I
The
always refer to it.
Godzilla treatment. I actually really like that.
Where it's an existing card, but they've given it another name.
Mm-hmm.
So Yuffie is Yuriko the Tiger Shadow. You remember?
I don't even remember that card, but okay.
Mm-mm.
She was from I think a commander deck in the new Kamigawa. Is that right?
Possibly older than that.
Possibly. I don't know. Someone look it up while we do it here real quick. But because Yuffie is a ninja, wink wink, and a Final Fantasy ninja, meaning she throws things. They've just slapped Yuffie on it. Yuriko or Yuffie has Commander Ninjutsu, which I think means what you think it means. And then, whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. Each opponent loses life equal to that card's mana value. And she's a 1/3. Which, for 1 a blue and a black. Like, that all seems fine for a Yuffie card, I guess. Yuriko was Commander 2018. That long ago? Oh my god. Really boring art. I mean, this is the iconic Yuffie art. Like, when you say Yuffie from Final Fantasy VII, to a lot of people, this is probably the picture that pops into their head.
Yeah.
So, it is kind of weird they didn't put a background or something behind her, but, whatever. But okay, that was easy. So, all right, we've got a 14, a 1, and a 10. So, I guess that covers the 3 of you. So I'm sorry, Dirk, you're our 14 guy, even though you only played it for a minute, because that's a minute longer than the rest of us.
I guess so. All right, so is it emet-selch Unsundered
Sure.
for 1 blue black. He's a 2/4 vigilance, He's a legendary creature, Elder Wizard. When elded, emet-selch enters or attacks, draw a card, then discard a card.
What a
Sound
terrible
good?
name, by the way.
Emet-selch. Yeah. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 14 or more cards in your graveyard, you may transform Emet-selch. And he transforms
Dun-dun-dun. Oh, Jesus.
into Hades, Sorcerer of Eld, who is a legendary creature avatar that is a 6/6 with vigilance. And he has Echo of the Lost. During your turn, you may play cards from your graveyard.
What the
If a
hell?
card, do what?
I said, what the hell? Sorry, keep
Yeah.
going.
If a card or token would be put into your graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead.
What the hell?
Yawgmoth's Will, anybody?
Yeah, it's kind of like a delayed Yawgmoth's will.
I mean,
It
so you
comes
don't,
around just during the upkeep.
yeah, you don't get it right away, but you only get it when you have 14 or more cards in your graveyard. So, I don't really know this guy or what his deal is, but he's got a lot going on here.
What do you mean you don't get it right away? You get it right away once emet-selch flips. You've just got it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
You
but
have
it's
access
not
to
like
your hand and the graveyard.
it's not like you cast emet-selch and then right away you start getting that benefit.
Yeah.
You can't.
Oh,
You have-
gotcha. Correct. Yeah.
yeah, you have to. He has to make it around to your turn.
Freaking Hades. This isn't the Hades that is the super rare encounter in Final Fantasy Renaissance, is it, chat? I don't know. I don't know Hades from any Final Fantasy games except for. Nope, I can't think of any. Was there one in? There's not one in 6. Was there one in 7? I feel like there's a Hades in 7. Like is it
There's a
7?
Hades summon in 7. It's one of the ways that you can beat Ruby Weapon because he casts an uncounterable stop on the enemy. So I would chain Hades with Knights of the Round.
Of course you would.
It's
And
one of the
wasn't
only ways to beat Ruby Weapon, so you have to be cheap.
wasn't there also a Hades in 9 who was like a hidden boss?
Yes, toward the very end of the game, he's the
Yeah,
one.
that's what Roland
Yeah,
just said.
yeah, you have to beat him so you can merge your pumice pieces and unlock Arc, I think.
I will thank
it?
you not to talk about my pumice pieces on the podcast. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry. Everybody's pumice pieces are their own business. What you do with them, that's between you and your eidolons. And government shouldn't be involved in that. Anything else about Hades or emet-selch, or shall we move on to the original bad boy?
Oh, it's Selk with a hard Oh, okay. Sorry, chat.
So it's Selk, not Selch.
Yeah, apparently so. I'm guessing they say the name out loud a lot since it's Final Fantasy 14.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So that card is crazy. How about Garland? Is he gonna not? Oh, there's the flavor text. Yeah.
He is. Yes. So this is Garland, Knight of Cornelia. For a single black and red, he comes out early. And he is a human knight, and he's uncommon. So I really like this. And he's a 3/2. So for 2 mana, he's a 3/2. He has the flavor text, I, Garland, will knock you all down. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Surveil 1. Surveil is the scry, but instead of putting it on top of your library, you can put it into your graveyard. Versus putting it on the bottom of your library. For 3, of generic mana and 2 black and 2 red. So for 7 mana, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield transformed. Activate only as a sorcery. So you play him out, he dies, or for some reason he already ends up in your graveyard, and then toward the end of the game, mid to end of the game, you get him back as Chaos, the Endless, with just that iconic Chaos art with the 4 arms.
I'm
He's
sorry,
a
did you say with the
he's
four arms? What?
yeah, look, he has 4 arms.
Yeah. He's got
Yeah.
2 down below that are spread wide, but he has 2 that are holding
Oh.
that thing
Yeah.
in front
Yeah.
of him, so he has 4 arms.
I did not see the 2 that were Hadoukening in front of him. Also, he's got that belly face crotch thing, or belly crotch face thing
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. He is now a demon. He is a 5/5 with flying, and when Chaos dies, put it on the bottom of its owner's library.
Which
And
is hilariously flavorful.
It is so
Mhm.
flavorful. And the flavor text is, even as you die, again and again I shall return. Because the whole plot twist to Final Fantasy 1 was, hey, that guy you beat up in the first temple was sent backward or forward in time. I can't remember which one. I think backward. By the 4 elementals, who he then sent forward in time, creating an endless loop that is only ever broken if chaos is defeated. And it's pretty simple, but still, if you're just expecting, hey, beat the bad guy, save the princess sort of thing, timey-wimey stuff, endless loop, pretty cool.
Yeah, so when he dies, when Chaos dies, it goes on the bottom of its owner's library, which means, because it's a 2,000 year time loop,
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense for it to go on the bottom of the library, because you're not going to see him again for a very long time.
Yeah. You could do shenanigans where you just never mill out, but he is super expensive to flip, and he only flips at sorcery speed. But still.
And he's still only a 5/5 with flying because he's an uncommon.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
As final bosses go, that's not terribly impressive. But as flavorful card goes, that's pretty freaking neat.
It's awesome, yeah.
Plus, I love that the art on the Garland side is his sprite in game.
Mm-hmm.
Just drawn in a not sprite fashion. Like, I don't think this is Final Fantasy art. I think this was made for this card.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome art.
Yeah. I love it. So, Mike, you're our
Garland
10 guy.
will totally knock you all down.
Oh, it's the most threatening thing ever said in a video game at that time.
All right, so this one right here from Final Fantasy X is Sin, Spira's Punishment. So for 4, a black, a green, and a blue, so a total of 7, a legendary Leviathan avatar who is a 7/7 with flying. And whenever Sin enters or attacks, exile a permanent card from your graveyard at random. Then create a tapped token that's a copy of that card. If the exiled card is a land card, repeat this process.
Oh, so good.
So I'm only vaguely aware of what Sin's deal is, and try to do this without spoilers for anyone.
Yeah, so there's
it actually is a fairly big twist that's sadly I know already, but you know.
Yeah, I'm not going to cover that part, but there's this cycle of calamity and conflict that happens on Spira, and part of that involves this horrible monster, Sin, who comes and shows up and starts destroying everything, and there's a team of heroes who appear and have to team up and go defeat it, and that cycle is happening again, in the action of Final Fantasy X, and I believe this scene shows Sin attacking the airship.
I think so. Yeah, that's what you see on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, to avoid spoilers, because this is the heart of what Final Fantasy X is about. I'm not going to go into what Sin is. All you know at the beginning is you see Sin in the first 10 minutes in the prologue, and it's essentially an island-sized floating monster that spawns other little monsters. In fact, there are monsters called Sin Spawn,
Yep.
and a lot of them are like when people die around it, if their souls are not properly seen to, they will eventually turn into the Sin Spawn, which is maybe what's happening here with this ability.
Could be. Pulling things back from the graveyard could be.
Yeah. The unsent, right?
Yes.
Essentially, if you don't get your last rites.
Yeah. Kind of like an Innistrad. You try to get the blessed sleep, otherwise you might come back weird.
That very,
Might come
very
back
good.
Weird.
No, he's 100% correct.
Oh, I know, but it's just he put it so matter of factly. I love you, Mike. So, does this card work for Sin then? Because it's really neat.
I think so. You know, this is one of those things where it's hard to fit on a Magic card, so you got to find something. You know, kind of like how they did their best with Okagachi. They tried. Here they're doing their best with what they can do for Sin. You know, 7/7 doesn't really capture how absolutely huge it is in the game, but you know, to put with Final Fantasy, if they really wanted to go that way, there'd be so many opportunities to have, you know, there'd be
Like 15/15s and Eldrazi everywhere.
There'd be
Yeah.
5 or 6 20/20 creatures in this set, and that's just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
So-
Garland would flip into like a 2020 with Indestructible or something stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not going to get the entirety of some of these creatures and characters and whatnot on Magic cards. But
They're not.
like unlike Terra, which as far as I can tell has nothing to do with Terra as a character. Like how does Sin work though? Like does this seem good?
I feel like it, but
for what
Mike,
Brian pointed out about the unsent being brought back as monsters, yeah, that makes sense.
That's cool. And if it's a land card, isn't there something about I don't know, someone made hid the place from Sin, right? The Sin didn't make a copy of it. Or something.
Been long enough that I don't.
I'm
know
not
reaching for there.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I'm only taking bits and pieces of the things I know about 10, having never played it. But like, isn't there a like there's a version of Xenarcan that's hidden from Sin or something?
Yes.
Yeah, there
yes.
were some safe places.
Yeah, but that's not Sin. Like taking over a place and spitting out another
No,
copy or anything silly like
that last part, if it's a land card, repeat the process, might just be a fun balancing. Might just be fun balancing, so you're not like, hit another land.
Yeah. I think that's purely for the Magic card.
Yeah.
But I had
You
to
say fun
interrogate that in case it
balancing.
wasn't.
Yeah. You say fun balancing. I'm kind of like, oh, lands. Woo! Get 11 lands. Woo! So.
Well, yes, of course. I would do that too.
Do they come in untapped?
No.
Okay.
The token that it creates is always tapped.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. Blunking.
So that's all of the multicolored
that's all the-
cards.
Yes. There's at least one card that is one color on the front and a different color once it transforms.
Yeah.
But that's it for the gold, specifically the gold cards.
Yeah. And then for artifacts, all we have so far is a food token, which is from 15 because one of your party members is your chef.
Yes. I played 15. Did anybody else play 15?
Not
Me.
yet, no.
Okay. I love, like, as you're going across the land, you defeat some enemies or you find ingredients in the wild. Once you've found the right ingredients, Ignis just yells out, "I've come up with a new recipe." And he just says recipe with that accent. Dirk, how many times did you hear it? About a million
A
times?
lot.
Yeah.
But some of the food he comes up with is just amazing in the stats that it gives you.
And it looks really good.
Mhm.
Like, you could just reach into the TV and be like, ah,
This is a terrible
yes.
game to play if you're hungry.
Yes.
So it's good that the food token is from 15 because it was actually a big part of the game, unlike other games
was.
where it's just
Yeah, it was
a
a
healing
gimmick
item.
in the game that was actually pretty good.
Yeah. In fact, moving on from that, do you want me to tell you about fishing in 15?
Sure.
Absolutely.
All right. Side quest, catch a fish, which tells you there's going to be other
Side quests in this.
Yeah. Yeah. Side quest, catch a fish.
It does seem a little odd that it's not enchantment dash side quest, but I guess
it doesn't have a subtype.
yeah, I guess they didn't want to add a new
Or the
subtype.
quest. Well, the quest subtype exists, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, but quests
Yeah,
don't, those do something specific.
Right. Like
Which-
you do stuff and eventually you finish the quest. But this is side quest catch a fish for 2 and a white. It's an enchantment, it's uncommon. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. Go fishing.
Yeah.
If it's an artifact or creature card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. If you put a card into your hand this way, create a food token, like what we saw before, and transform this enchantment. Flavor text is, "I am Noctis, Prince of Lucis and King of Fishing."
Please tell me he shouts that at some point in the game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Excellent.
So it transforms into Cooking Campsite, which is a land. Enchantment into a land. It taps for white, or you can pay 3 and tap and sacrifice an artifact, like a food token, to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control.
Because Ignis's food buffs the party.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Activate-
I get it.
Activate only as a sorcery. Flavor text. Seeing how you enjoy fishing, you should learn how to prepare your catch, which is a line that Ignis tells Noctis.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, I was wrong. Quest is not an enchantment subtype.
No?
No. It just
Real-
appears
oh
in the
no, they're
name.
all just named quest
quest
something
cards.
something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems
My
like a
bad.
missed opportunity there, doesn't it?
Yeah. It
Because
does.
when Mike said that, I went, "Oh yeah," but those are mechanically something very specific. No, they're not. They're just named that. Huh? Okay. Interesting.
But I like this. Just even the front side, like, hey, look at the top card of your deck. And you don't ever have to flip it if you don't want, if you just want to look at it. Although it's the beginning of your upkeep, you're about to draw it, so maybe that doesn't matter a whole lot. And I think a lot of times you're probably going to want to accelerate your mana with a free land.
Yeah, because once it transforms, it's not like it has summoning sickness or anything, so
Right.
it's just free extra mana with an awesome extra ability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really. What is this? Is this an uncommon? It is an uncommon. Yeah,
This is an uncommon.
I like that. So then we've got Stiltskin.
Stiltskin.
Like he's rumpled.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember him at all. Does anybody remember
He's-
him?
He's
Yeah.
from 14 apparently.
No, he's
No,
from
he's
9. He's from 9.
Oh,
the
it
one
is from
with
9, never mind.
Zidane.
Yeah, I remember him.
Oh, okay. Well,
'Cause
read
he's
it
the
then,
one
Dirk.
that's exploring the world.
Is he?
And you come across all his, I guess, his cousins or something in all the different locations because they're the ones that do the saves.
Is
So
that right?
Stiltskin,
Yeah.
Moogle Merchant.
Okay.
Yeah, remember you
Um,
used the Moogles to save in 9.
No, I had forgotten that completely. But yeah.
and they're always looking for him or like, oh yeah, he's going to this place now, and so as you're going, he's you know you keep coming across people who are like, oh yeah, he's gone there this time, so he's kind of shadowing the direction you're going in.
Mm-hmm.
So Stiltskin, Moogle Merchant for a white. He has lifelink and is a 1/2 legendary creature Moogle. And for 2 and tap, target opponent gains control of another target permanent you control. If they do, you draw a card.
You sell it.
Yeah.
Hmm?
I already
That's-
saw somebody on Twitter who's like, yeah, give them, what is it, demonic contract when the last option is you lose the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's all kinds of nonsense that you could just here. This is your problem now. And I like his flavor text. How about a 3-piece combo of High Potion, Ether, and Phoenix Pinion for 444 gil? Kupo.
Yeah, I can see him being. I have a feeling that he's going to be I'm going to have some enchantments. And now I'm going to give you some of these enchantments or something of that sort.
Yeah.
Where there's going to be a downside to it. Oh, you will put an arrest on my stuff? That's funny.
Well, no, they gain control of it. So if they put
But-
an arrest on your stuff, they already control it. And
Yeah.
giving them control or changing the controller would leave it on the same thing.
But you can arrest their guy and then give them control of the arrest, which
And draw,
changes
which does nothing.
nothing.
Oh,
Yeah.
it doesn't move it. It just you
No.
gain control of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you give
you draw
them
a card.
stuff that has a downside of some sort,
Yeah. Or you just don't want.
or that you just don't want.
I mean, like, treasure is great, but maybe at a certain point in the game, I don't need a single piece, a single artifact that's a one use, get a single mana.
Yeah, as much as I need
But-
to dig for something in my deck.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, he's you know how all of those things people are like, "Oh yeah, you just donate this to an opponent." Ha ha ha. Well, now there's a thing that just does that
Yeah.
and draws you cards while you're at it.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have an adorable, like, kitten with a twisted, like, Eldrazi tail. But it's
That
still
is
pretty
true.
good.
Yeah. All right. So that's white. Now blue, I hope there are just a whole mess of these. I love
There
this
better
idea.
be. There better
yeah,
be.
I hope there
So
are.
this-
Somebody was like, it can only attack once. Well, some of these, well, let's get into it.
Yeah.
It's
so
from
this is
10.
summon Shiva. And Shiva, for 3 blue, is an enchantment creature saga elemental. And she's a 4/5. So So sagas, remember, are enchantments that tell a story, they're chapters, and then after you do the final chapter, you sacrifice them, right?
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we already have enchantment creatures. Like, that's not new. So
Right.
there's nothing in the rules that says this isn't possible.
Yeah.
Like
This
they
just has a
haven't-
power and toughness at the bottom.
Yeah, you just make it a creature, give it a creature subtype, and then slap a power and toughness on it, and boom, just like any other enchantment. So it works the same way that regular creatures work, and it works the same way that regular sagas work. This is not complicated at all. Okay? Okay. So, remember, sagas happen when they enter, and then after your draw step, you add a lore counter. So, chapter 1 and 2 for this Shiva is Heavenly Strike. Tap target creature an opponent controls, put a stun counter on it. Hey! Because Shiva is an ice elemental.
Right.
So she would, freeze things. Makes perfect sense. And then, the way Shiva works, you play her. Chapter 1 happens. Tap something, stun it. Got it. Chapter 2, tap something, stun it. The first one's still stunned, so now you've got 2 of their things tapped down, right?
Right.
Right. And now she can attack. She's a 4/5. Seems good. And then, your next turn, after you draw a step, you go chapter 3, Diamond Dust. You draw a card for each tapped creature your opponents control, and then you sacrifice the saga, because it's a saga, and when you hit the last chapter, you sacrifice it. And for people that do what Brian said, well, she can only attack once. Yeah, she's a summon creature in a Final Fantasy game. That's what she'd do in all of them but like 10.
That's how that works. And also, I want to point out...
Or 8?
That...
There's one of them where they stick around. But for the most part, they're a magic spell that does
10.
damage.
Actually,
for
10.
they stay on the field and fight.
Yeah, Yuna summons them.
Mm-hmm.
But they can get knocked out, and if they get knocked out, it's not game over. Your regular party just comes right back. I will also say, just because this one has 3 chapters does not mean all of them do. You may have one that has 4 chapters, which may mean that it gets to attack more than once.
Yeah.
This gets to attack twice, doesn't it?
Nope.
No, because it's sacrificed when the 3rd chapter happens, and it happens right after your draw step. So
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
just find a way to give your blue creatures haste, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Or
Then you can attack the
or
first turn.
don't. Like, sagas already do what they do. This just adds
Yeah.
a bonus attack. Like, it's...
True. You could
It's
just
really
do this
cool.
as a saga and not attack. And it's a 4/5. It can stand in the way of a lot of things.
like a lot of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love the flavor on this. Now
Yeah.
this is specifically the Shiva from 10, but it doesn't matter. Like, Shivas are Shivas. Like, whatever.
Yes.
They're all ice elementals, and most of them the ability is called Diamond Dust. Weirdly. So I love how they made this work flavorfully. I can't wait to see more summons, because this is cool as balls.
Oh yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. So
Pharmacist Judge said, unless it's 13 where Shiva's a motorcycle. 13 does not count.
I
summons.
have
13 is bizarre.
I have played every main entry except for 11, 13, and 14. Right now I'm making my way through 16.
Oh,
no
you are?
spoilers.
Nice.
I got it for Christmas when we
I
also
knew that.
purchased the PS5.
How
And
you
I
like
am-
him, Clive? His name is Clive.
His name is Clive, and I'm liking him a lot, and I have avoided all spoilers for this game for like the last 2 years that it's been out, somehow. And I also I downloaded the digital copy of 7 Rebirth, and I'm only like a half an hour into that, because I've been trying to make my way through 16. So no spoilers, and I like him a lot. I like the way that the icons in this game work. And I love the fact, as much as I love Rebirth, just a little bit that I played, there's something just great about, like, hey, it's a new Final Fantasy with characters. And I love the setting. It is not another, like, as much as I like 7, it's not, hey, here's a modern world, but what if magic existed? It feels very high fantasy. And I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Yeah. Infinius just said, Tom Bombadil summoning Shiva is not a universes beyond thing I expected to think about. Whoa. Oh, and Shifuji said, and couldn't Goldberry take a chapter counter off of Shiva too? Oh my god.
Yeah.
She is not legendary, so there's nothing stopping you from playing 2 summon Shivas back to back.
Oh god, she's not,
And
is she?
and that's a lot of tapped creatures. Oh, that's glorious.
Yeah. All right, so I took Shiva just because that's super interesting, and because I wanted someone else to read Cecil, just because I didn't want to hog all the
Because
good ones.
so and I've talked about some good ones, but I'm sorry, I will fight you, and I mean any of you for Cecil because 4 is my jam, and 4 is where I got
Damn.
started. So I'm just gonna go and say this: Cecil Dark Knight costs a single black. Of course he does, because you know like how Garland is the first enemy you fight in 1. Cecil is you're playing him through the prologue and beyond in 4, so he's right away your guy. And he is a 2/3 for a single black mana with Death Touch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Boom.
that's ridiculous
Mike,
until you realize that he's one of those aggro creatures with a drawback.
yeah, we'll get to the drawback in a second, but you know how at every pre-release, Mike, the card you least want to see in front of you is the 1/1 with Death Touch, like the little snake or whatever?
Yes.
Here's this.
Yeah.
Um,
Screw you in
and
particular, Mike.
and well that's something that Mike has mentioned.
Oh
And
yeah.
his ability is darkness. Whenever Cecil deals damage, you lose that much life, which
So he's like a
whew,
jackal pup with a bigger ass.
yeah.
Wait, no, jackal pup took damage and you lost life, right? Crap.
Um, that yeah, Jackal Pup is taking damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
when
there's
he
something
this is
that
when
does this in black, but I can't remember
Yeah, there are.
yeah.
like specifically that's a cheap like zombie or something.
Yeah, like
But
I can think of Flesh Reaver. It's a 4/4 for 2.
yeah, that sounds about right. But
Yeah.
this also means that like throw an equipment on him and he's like, okay, great. Now he's like a 6/2. Well, that's gonna hurt a lot. Or a 6/3. But there's the other part to darkness. Then, if your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, untap Cecil and transform it.
So real quick, darkness is Cecil, and it's Cecil because we're American. It's not Cecil. That's for you weird British people and apparently Hawaiian. I don't know, because Chifuji's the
Like
one
the
who said Cecil. No, Cecil.
like the
But
pizza?
darkness is the ability that he had in the Japanese version of Final Fantasy IV. That was an AOE attack that hit all of the enemies for a really good amount of damage, but also dealt him some percentage of his health or something. I forget how that works
Yeah,
specifically, but
that's right.
I
In
never
the
used
Super
it all
Nintendo
that
version,
much.
in the Super Nintendo version that I played first, he didn't have that. Final Fantasy IV, when it was sent over here as Final Fantasy II, was dumbed down. They were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, the poor Americans." So,
Well, we didn't
C's,
have 2 and 3 to build up our knowledge of how these games work, so they just
yeah.
assumed, oh, it'd be too much. So they
So
did
Cecil
an
could
edited
use,
version.
yeah, Cecil could use fight and item until you climb Mount Ordeals, and he loses the Sword of Darkness and becomes Cecil, redeemed paladin. He becomes the tank.
Yeah.
And now, instead of being a 2/3 with Death Touch that hurts you, he is a 4/4 with Lifelink. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
And his ability is Protect. Whenever Cecil attacks, other attacking creatures gain indestructible until end of turn. He
Yeah,
covers.
because his ability, well, his passive ability when he's a paladin is when someone else in the party gets low on health, he will jump down and take hits that are meant for them.
Yeah.
So this is a really cool way of protecting the party is by making them indestructible.
Yeah.
I
like it.
love this card.
Yeah, this is great.
What
And
is it? It's rare. Yeah.
It's rare. It's not mythic. I love both parts of this.
Yeah.
I would totally play an aggro 2-3 for 1 with Death Touch that's going to hurt me. Because holy cow. And then I will totally turn it into a 4-4 with lifelink that I have still spent exactly 1 mana on.
Like how hard do you own the first like 3 turns of the game with a 2/3 with Death Touch for 1 mana? Like
So hard. So hard. The first 3 turns. By 4 they might be able to kill it. But unless they have removal, which, dies to removal. Yeah, this is great.
Creatures
is
are
great.
stupid.
I love it. And it's one of my favorite characters, and it helps. This is kind of the opposite of Terra for me, where Terra is also one of my favorite characters, and I didn't like the card. The card is not bad, but the card is not Terra. This
Yeah.
is Cecil. This is Cecil, and it kicks so much butt.
It really
just
does.
You guys that maybe aren't as fanatical about this, maybe you're fanatical about me. I don't know. Maybe you got a Brian shrine, but Mike
How'd you
and
know
Dirk,
about my
what do you guys
Brian
think?
Shrine?
Well, I didn't. I know about yours. I just wonder if the others.
Oh,
but
okay.
Dirk and Mike, what do you guys think of this card?
I think it's really cool.
I also agree that it's a really cool card. Because they said that it is your first character, and this, Cecil Dark Knight goes down. Essentially, it can easily be your first character, your first creature going down, and then turns around and ends up being, it's a really cool card, really cool creature that ends up, plowing you, moving you forward and winning you the game. So yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Mike,
it.
what you got? Anything else to say about Cecil?
I had a thought that I thought was a combo until I realized it turned into a non-bow. Just trying to use the driving down your life as a feature rather than a bug, and I'm like, oh, Death Shadow. It was like, well, no, but then he flips into a 4/4 with lifelink, so that kind of
Yep.
makes Death Shadow die horribly. So don't make that your plan.
Unless you just never attack with it after that.
I guess so.
But then what's the point of having the... Yeah.
Yeah. A for effort, Mike. Why don't you take this stuffed Tonberry doll as a consolation prize? It's so cute.
I really like this design. I think it really captures the menace of the Tonberry. So, for a single black mana, Tonberry is a 2/1 Salamander Horror, who is uncommon. Tonberry enters tapped with a stun counter on it. And it has its Chef's Knife ability. During your turn, this creature has First Strike and Death Touch.
This is so good.
This is the design of this.
Flavorfully as a Tonberry. As a creature, it kind of sucks actually, but well, not really.
I don't know. One of the best creatures in Standard right now is Glissa. The one that's for 3 is a 3/3 with First Strike and Death Touch, and then she has effects.
It's infuriatingly good.
Glissa should not be in Standard anymore. 3 years, but First Strike and Death Touch together is just insane. I still play it, and every now and then I run against somebody who clearly was not thinking about what those two abilities mean in tandem. This, like Cecil, can also be played on turn 1. You can't use it right away, but it will get there. But then again, so the card is fine. But holy cow, what this represents. I remember seeing Tonberries, Master Pugs, as they were called in 6, and then Tonberries going forward. And you're like, oh, it's an enemy, and you start hitting it, and you're like, this thing has a lot of hit points. And then it's like getting closer to you, which in 6 felt weird, because enemies didn't do that. And then eventually it was like stab, and your guy goes down, and you're like, holy cow. These things feel like scary. This thing is Jason, basically. Jason Voorhees. It's
Yeah,
adorable.
and you shouldn't trust people named Jason, see?
But
yeah, so
you know,
the way that Tonberries work, was because we haven't mentioned it yet. They show up, and you're like, look at this cute little guy. He's got a little lantern and a little knife. Oh, what's he gonna do with the knife? Is he gonna get me? Oh, he's gonna get me. And then he does a little shuffle, like a shh sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like he moves forward slightly, and you're like, okay. And then if
And
he
some of the
reaches you, you die, and you're like, what?
Well, and sometimes in some games, like he can even stumble on the way to you, and you're like,
and it's so cute.
It's adorable. But yeah, and then he gets up to you, and he's like,
Like when the first time I encountered him in Final Fantasy VII Remake, like I knew, oh god, a Tonberry, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember the Master Pug in 6. Was it a rare encounter?
I think it was a rare encounter. I think
I have no memory of those at all. And
Yeah.
this says it's from Final Fantasy V. I don't remember Tonberries in Final Fantasy V, and I played it twice just recently. Are there Tonberries in 5? I don't remember that either. But in the remake, like I said, I knew them by reputation, but I had never, at least I didn't remember having to deal with them. And they just sort of are there, and they're like, hello. And then they're easy to dodge, but if he catches you slipping, it does like 9999 damage, and whoever got poked in the ankle with this knife just dies. And I went, ah!
Mm-hmm.
I love
Yeah.
the part when you're fighting the Hell House, and it just like drops some Tonberries onto the field, and you're like, oh god.
Yeah, little fake Tonberries. And I was like, oh, they're not even real Tonberries. Why am I wasting my time with these when I could be hitting the Hell House? And so I ignored one once, and it just up and murdered Aerith, and I went, ah! Like, what am I? Oh, what do I do?
If I remember correctly, in 10, the Tonberry mechanic actually dealt its damage to your party members based on how much damage that party member had dealt over the course of the game. It was a formula based on that somehow.
Oh, that makes sense, because it's got an ability in Remake that is called Vengeance or something. I can't remember now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait.
Everybody's Grudge or something.
Yeah, that's it.
I am an encyclopedia of worthless knowledge. It is what I do. Carrie's always complaining that I remember more details about season 3 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer than most things in life. But,
And
yeah,
if anyone is going, they don't come out in the Hell House. That's only on hard mode.
yeah.
Which
I was just thinking that, but I haven't done that on hard mode. That section.
It is awful. But since you already know the trick, it's actually not as bad as you might think.
Hard mode. I don't always go for hard modes in games. Hard mode in Remake was so worth it. It felt so satisfying. It never felt impossible, but there were challenges. Like Hell House took me, God, I don't know how many tries. But it was such a sense of satisfaction as opposed to a game where I'm punishing myself.
Yeah, anytime I do it, I do hard mode infrequently enough that I keep forgetting that your magic doesn't replenish. and you can't cast items. Only your health gets replenished when you can't sit.
Yeah.
And I always forget that.
Yeah,
So I got
that's
into
dangerous.
quite a bunch of fights and realized, oh, I can't I can't use magic anymore.
But yeah, this covers the slow build up. Getting back to the card, it covers the slow
Yes.
build up because there's 2 turns where this thing isn't doing anything because it comes in tapped. Then the next turn you remove the stun counter, and then the next turn it can finally start waddling forward and stabbing people to death. But because it's during your turn, like this thing might as well just say deal 2 damage to your opponent. Because with first strike and death touch, who's gonna want to sacrifice one of their creatures to not take 2 damage?
And it's only during your turn, so it's not like you're going to hold it back to block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway. Oh, someone, Chifuji just dropped in the Manapool channel in the Discord. Here are all of the Tonberry appearances. And yeah, they're so cute. Some of them. The one from 11 is awful. Huh. Okay, I'll have to look at that more closely later. We're doing a show right now, but I'm gonna send that to the dorks though. Let me see. Copy. How do I do this? Copy image. Copy image. There we go. Here you go, dorks. You can peruse that too. So yeah, Tonberry's cool. Red is the other of the, what was it called? Final Fantasy Through the Ages, I think, treatments. This one annoys me because this is classic Final Fantasy 1 art, because this is from Final Fantasy 1. It's the Dragon of Mount Gulg. Like, it's a picture of the warrior fighting a dragon. And it's overlaying the ancient copper dragon. So real quick, it's a 4 red 6/5 flyer. It's an elder dragon. Ooh. That used to mean something in this town. And it says, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20, you create that many treasure tokens. So, like, that's really cool. The part of this that annoys me, there is no Dragon of Mount Gulg.
Are there dragons in Mount Gulg?
I mean, I'm pretty sure there are red dragons, and yeah, there are red dragons in there, I'm pretty sure. But there might be an encounter tile that's red dragons. Oh yeah, Roland just said there's a red dragon trap tile. But even so, that's not... It doesn't matter?
It's not the dragon.
Yeah, it's just, oh, in order to get this chest, I gotta fight this dragon. Or I assume it's a chest. Most trap tiles are in front of chests, it seems. I think they just really wanted to use this insanely iconic and glorious art.
Yeah.
Which
That
it is absolutely iconic and glorious. Like, it's a mono art. It's amazing. It's just Dragon of Mount Gulg. Okay. So I guess technically there is a Dragon of Mount Gulg. That's sure. Oh my god, and it's in front of a treasure chest.
you killed the others. There's one left.
And
It's
suddenly
the
now
dragon.
this card makes a lot more sense. What is Roland? If anyone remembers this, it's you. What do you remember? What chest it's blocking? Mount Gulg Dragon Trap Tile chest. Oh, nope, 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 nope. Okay, Google was no help. Oh, it's the flame mail? Okay. All right, I take it back. This card no longer annoys me. Thank you, chat. You see, when you're given new information, you can change your opinion and be like, "Oh, I was wrong. I was wrong." That's a thing that a lot of people don't know how to do anymore these days.
No, dig in your heels.
Yeah.
Become obstinate.
Yeah, that's why this country's in the state it's in right now. But
One
no,
of
really,
couple
when you're
reasons.
given new information, it's encouraged to change your mind. That's how that works. America. Completely off topic, but it's very relevant to that part of the conversation. A thing that I see right-wing dickheads say all the time is, "Oh, like 4 or 5 years ago, the liberals loved Elon Musk. Now they all say he's a Nazi." Yeah, he is a Nazi, but we didn't know he was a Nazi back then. Now he's made it apparent that he's a Nazi, so we've changed our minds and said,
yeah, it's
"Screw that guy. He's a Nazi."
It's amazing how that works. Like, oh, we found out something about somebody. We don't like that thing. Anyway.
Yeah. It's not canceling. It's using the new information to make a better decision.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Dragon of Mount Gulg is actually a cool and flavorful card. Thank you. Anyway, sorry to go off on that, but it seems like a good time to do it.
We got 2 more cards.
2 more cards. Let's do the cute one first, because the other one is its own ridiculous thing.
Yeah.
What is that from? Does that say 13?
The Chocobo is from 13.
Okay, I can't quite make that out. So who wants to? Well, it's very. Tell you what, I'll just knock it out real quick. I can't even say that. How do you say that? Zaj? Saj?
Saj.
Saj? Saj is Chocobo?
Dirk, did you play 13?
I didn't finish 13.
But you played it, the one with lightning.
Yeah.
It had voice acting, right?
Yeah.
What was this guy's name?
I don't know. This one, I mean, I played 13. Oh, yeah. I don't think it. God, I don't. If they said it, because it's the little chocobo that lives in the black guy's hair.
So the black guy. What's his name?
I can't remember what his name is. I can't remember. Lightning's the only character I remember.
Chat is saying it sounds like Saws. Yeah, I'm giggling at Dirk.
Like,
look, you made me laugh so
who
hard
the
Renee
other
had to come
characters are.
check on
The
me
last
to
time
see
I
if
played
was
13
joking.
was. It's been probably like 8 years. It's been a while.
But like I said, chat says it sounds like Saws, so we'll go with Saws Chocobo. It's very simple. For a single green, it's a 0/1 bird. It's uncommon. And it's got landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Boom. Nice and simple. And awesome. For a 1-drop? That's gross.
For a 1-drop, that's great. And it's not until in a turn, it's a counter. Read the flavor text.
The chick has no name, as voicing the true identity of the animal might trigger ripples of destiny across Cocoon and cause a hurricane in Eden. Either that, or Saz just hasn't thought of one yet. That's cute.
I don't know this is one of the only games I have never played. I don't know anything about this, but I do like that. Yeah.
At some point, I think I've pretty much decided I'm gonna be playing all of the mainline Final Fantasies, and for 13 I will play all 3. So I will report back in several years when I get to that. But yeah, on a 1-drop, this card is fine. I mean, it's good. I like it. Had this been in the set with the landfall Zendikar, I would have been all over it.
Yeah, most people would have.
So yeah, Pharmacist Joe says, "Are you therefore playing X2?" Yeah, dude, I want to play X2. X2 is it's got a job system. Job systems are my favorite part.
I have X2. I have not come anywhere close to finishing it yet. My problem is that battles seem to take forever. If you really want to optimize like switching jobs in battle, which it wants you to do, it takes a while for the animations and whatnot. So I've picked it up like twice and started to play it and then done other things.
There's probably a mod for that on PC. Anyway, okay, so this last card.
So far the first one from 8. 8 is the black sheep. Well, one of the black sheep of the Final Fantasy
I was gonna
games.
say the people who love 8 love 8, and the people who don't love 8 really don't love 8. I don't think I made it through an hour of 8 back in the day.
I've played it through about 2 or 3 times at least. And I enjoy it, but it's never going to be my favorite. I am that very rare middle ground person.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not my favorite.
I'm looking forward to playing it when I get around to it. 8 is the cilantro of Final Fantasy games. Oh, do you think people genetically think it tastes like soap?
I think it starts off with a really cool story. Like, it has a cool story in it. My only grudge or qualm about the game is the magic system in the game. Like, I like the junction system that, oh, well, you can do this and it makes, stats go up and everything, but it makes you not want to cast spells.
Yeah.
That's the thing that gets me about it is if you junction, it's like, all right, fill up your counter, and then once you fully filled it, and then it's like that stat is permanent. That would be great. Like, you now can fully cast this spell, no drawbacks from that. Great. I absolutely would then like draw them in, and then I'd be casting spells left and right. But because of the way that system works, it makes you not want to cast stuff, because as soon as you do, your stats start dropping with whichever thing you have junctioned.
Yeah. Yeah, they have the draw system and the junction system that are at odds with each other.
Like, I think that was poor design.
Yeah. Granted, I wouldn't say poor design. I would say it's
they themselves are not poor designs. The combination with each other is a poor design.
I mean, like I said, I'm not going to go that far. I'm just going to say it's not a design that I care for. That doesn't mean it's bad. I just Anyway,
things I don't like are horrible. That's another great attitude, right?
Yeah, that's another thing that's a problem in this country. But anyway, Dirk, you should read the last card. Because it's
Jumbo
silly.
Cactar?
Yes.
Yes, the Jumbo Cactar is a very silly card. So, Jumbo Cactar for 5 and 2 green. It is a 1/7 plant.
And it's
That's
rare.
And that's it. Good night.
Good night,
I mean,
everybody.
it has the key characteristic of cactars, particularly the jumbo one, which instead of having 1,000 needles, it has 10,000 needles. Which says whenever this creature attacks, it gets plus 9,999 and plus 0 until end of turn.
Quad 9, baby.
So
it gets 10,007. Power 10,000, defense 7.
Yeah. And the flavor text: some cactuars live long. Let me try that again. Some cactuars live long lives and grow huge. This jumbo cactuar is one of them.
And I'm wondering if that's like the bestiary entry in 8 for a jumbo cactuar.
I was wondering if it says this in the game somewhere because that really feels like,
I feel like it is. Yeah.
yeah, like a bestiary entry, like you said. So this card, I'm gonna call it. This card is not overpowered. This card is just silly. Like it costs 7, and it
Yeah.
has to attack. And like, what difference does 10,000 make as opposed to like, I don't know, 40, like, or 100?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's
It
just
doesn't have trample. It doesn't have anything on it that makes you be like, "Oh my god!" It's just it.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a big butt,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's
And-
ways of removing that threat.
Yeah,
And-
so a 2-card combo, because you got to have something helping it out. A 2-card combo to end the game. One of them costs 7. You know, that's not too much to ask.
No,
Yeah, like
I
it's
think-
fine. Give it
Yeah.
haste or trample, and yay,
And
good
you can
job.
win. Yeah. That's how you win a game. The one thing that I heard people complaining about is that if you also give it lifelink in multiplayer, you're going to kill one person, but then everybody else now has to, essentially mill you out or deal you 10,000 damage. But that's allowed. You could attack one person, give it trample, and then fling it at somebody else. Is fling a sorcery?
No, fling is an instant. Well, is fling an instant?
There are
Bloodshot
how many
Cyclops can do it at
variations
instant
of-
speed, so who cares?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. It's neat, and it made me laugh out loud. Chewie
yeah.
saw the previews before us, and he sent us a picture of the Tomberry and a picture of the giant cactuar. And I hadn't seen any other cards. I'm just like, all right, this is off to a great start.
Yeah, I said, hey, preview started. These two are my favorites so far. And I could hear Brian go. But yeah, like it's fine. I saw someone already came up with like a legacy 7-card turn 1 win, and I went, okay.
Sure.
It involved
job.
Dark Writs and Entomb and Resurrect and Hate, and I'm like, oh okay. Good
How
for you, I
magical
guess.
Christmas
Like if that
land
happens,
do you?
that
There
would
are
be
easier
amazing.
ways to win the game with an entomb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Much easier
exactly.
ways.
How magical Christmas land do you have to be to have exactly whatever that is?
Yeah, and I was like, okay. And people are like, well, if you give it trample, I'm like, if you give it trample, then it's a big creature with trample. The number doesn't matter if it's lethal damage. Like,
Yeah.
let me remind you, this thing costs 7. At that point, it could be a 10-7 with trample, and you'll win the game. Like, who cares? It's just because it's such a big number, people
Yeah.
are memeing on it, and it is really funny. But it's a 7-drop that has to survive to attack. It's fine. It is, however, really funny.
It is.
It's I hate to be the Debbie Downer here, but it's not busted. It's just stupid. It's a good stupid. I love that it's stupid.
Oh, it's an incredibly funny stupid.
Yeah.
great.
And Pharmacist Judge said earlier that is a quote from the bestiary, so that's good. And he said it's doing a great job of drawing attention. Exactly. That's why it's one of the early cards they showed.
Sure. Yeah. This is not a coincidence.
Yeah. And I gotta say, other than Terra making no sense and Cloud being generic commander words, I I think other than that, I'm really enjoying what they've done here.
It makes me eager to see more. And some of them are, if the worst you can say about Terra and Cloud, and some of them are, this doesn't fit what I think it should do, but they're still solid cards. That's not the end of the world. And they have shown us with the Lord of the Rings set, with some of the other stuff like Fallout, that they really can hit the ball out of the park with flavor. And when they can do Cecil this well, it makes me want to see what else they can do. I want to see Zemus flip into Zaramas. I want to see, well, I mean,
Kefka.
I guess Kefka. Yeah, that.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Brian, would you like to put a small bet on the fact that Zima/Zeromas won't be in the set? It'll probably be in the commander deck, so never mind.
That'll make me. Well,
I
the
don't
commander
think it'll
decks.
be in... Oh, there is
the
no
comma-
4 commander deck.
No, the commander decks are what, 6, 7,
6,
10,
7, 10,
and 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be in the collector booster only. But no, I'm looking to see a whole. I'm looking to see a whole bunch of great stuff. I'm looking to see all the different summons. I wonder if we're gonna see a Doom Train. You remember the last time we saw Doom Train as a summon? Choo choo, MFR.
I have no idea
If
what
they
you're
were going to
talking
be
about.
thematic with it, there
You
would be
don't know-
12 summons.
You don't know what Doom Train is?
No, I'm saying that
No,
if
Chewy.
they wanted to be thematic, there would be 12 summons.
Why would there only be 12 summons?
Because in Final Fantasy Tactics and 12, they were based on the Zodiac.
That's well in
The
12.
Zodiac was a big theme in that, which means there'd be 12.
In 12, they completely redid the usual summons where the airships that were being used by the Empire were named Alexander, Bahamut. Spoiler for
Yeah.
that one because it's the last boss, sort of stuff. And the summons were more unconventional ones, including previous Final Fantasy bosses like Zaramas and Chaos, and kind of X-Death reworded as Exodus. So it not hurt to have like a summons from 12, but 12 was trying really hard to do something different.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
kinda
sure
worked, but didn't
Tactics had
always.
more than 12 summons anyway, because it had enough Zodiac crap going on. But
I thought it had 12, but
don't
anyway.
I don't think there are going to be any Tactics. I don't think Tactics is entering into this at all. I think this is just mainline Final Fantasy games, would be my guess. But, like, the home runs, flavorfully, again, for me, are Shiva, Cecil, Tonberry, the dragon, it turns out, the Jumbo Cactuar, Garland. Yeah, that's it for me, because I don't know enough about Titus, and I knew nothing about Y'shtola. Sephiroth is pretty cool too, but not home run territory. So I'm very excited to see what they do. Just like I was with Lord of the Rings, you know, the more they show us, the happier I'll be. Oh, they said these would be mainline only. Oh, okay. Well, that would be why I think that then.
I'm looking forward to see what these side quests are all going to be.
Right? Do you think there'll be a fetch quest?
There's gotta be.
Like just called side quest, fetch quest?
Side quest, fetch quest.
Escort mission.
You go to hell. Sorry,
Stealth mission?
that's a gut reaction.
No. A stealth mission where you also have to escort somebody.
Ron, you
I'll
can
see
actually go
myself
to
out.
hell.
Yeah. I'll see myself out. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what they do next.
Yeah. So previews for this set start sometime in April, I want to say. I think the set comes out in like early to mid May, something like that.
June.
I
I thought
can't
it said
remember.
June.
Oh, it said June. Oh, June 13th. Okay, so they'll start in May. I knew May was in there somewhere. Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
So we will come back to this in the future.
They're about to start previews for Dragonstorm. Or maybe
Yay.
they've already started or something. I'm not
Where they
sure.
where they somehow go back to the place where they screwed up the timeline and pretend that they didn't screw it up or something.
Some
I'm sure there'll be a story, a bit of hand waving for retconning, but
I'm sure.
because Tarkir was cool, like they made it, they switched it from cool to boring, and then they went, oh crap, we should have done that differently. So
Once
now
again,
they're
it feels
gonna-
like a Simpsons episode. Oh no, I stepped on this, and then this changed. And then he goes back in time. Oh no, I did this again. And
The Halloween episode where he turned the
mm-hmm,
toaster into a time machine.
yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, like
Anyway.
that. But Sarkon.
But anyway, like I said, I'm sure they've already worked out. They might have already told us how they retconned it, but I don't know. I just don't care about.
They just wave their hands. It's retconned.
Yeah, to like no,
We're
there's
all
dragons. Shut up. But yeah, but you got rid of all the. Sorry.
We'll write about it. Just keep an eye out.
But anyway,
And then nothing
so
ever happens.
how about we do some final thoughts and go the hell to bed?
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My final thought would be this was great. I know that I made a big deal about like 4 being my baby and all that sort of stuff, and there's not a commander deck for it. That's fine. But I enjoy most Final Fantasy games, even in like some of the weird ones like 2 and 3. There's always something that I enjoy. I always enjoy playing through them. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what kind of treatment these get in the future. Yeah, I'm pumped. And like I said, I'm not trying to start a debate again, but I am happy that I'll be using these cards on Arena in a format that I actually play. But I don't know. I might get some physical cards as well, just because this just looks awesome, and I can see not just having them to play, but some of these actually having them to have them. And I'm not usually a collector, but dang. So, and with that, I have something I need to do, so I'm going to go ahead and log off, and everybody have a wonderful evening.
Night B.
No.
Dark, what you got?
I'm kind of excited about this. It's just I am super torn between, I have not really dropped money into Magic in a very long time. Even when I was really excited about the Fallout stuff, I still haven't dropped any money into it. And so as much as I'm like, I really want to get this, it's that FOMO. FOMO keeps coming to me, and it's like, you really want to buy this, you really want to buy this, and then I'm looking at, like, you do realize that if you buy this, it's going to sit back in your closet, and the only time it's going to get played is if you ever see the guys, and that will be the only time you play it, because you are not going to take that to school and let students play with those decks.
Right.
Not after spending a lot of money on those decks. So, yeah, I just don't know.
I mean, I'm excited about them, Dirk, and I will literally never buy any of them ever. Like, I'm just excited that they exist and to talk about them.
Yeah, in that I'm excited about them. I don't really know if I'm going to spend money on it. So that is the dilemma I have. But yeah, I think that's my final thought in all this as well. Is I'm excited about the Final Fantasy MTG stuff, but I probably will not buy it just because I would rather spend my money on things that I actually need instead
Well,
of
yeah.
things I want.
No one's trying to get you to buy it, Derek. You're fine.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, that is my final thought, and hopefully next week I will have my computer back because
Oh, cool.
I'm doing this on my laptop, and my computer, when it gets back, should be able to play Final Fantasy Rebirth and not lose pixels. Because like whenever I play it, it takes like 20 minutes for it to load,
Oh my
and then
god.
when it loads, it's good. Like the backgrounds and everything's are good. But as I continue to move through the land, all of a sudden the textures will drop off and it becomes angled polygons. And I've had
Oh.
where I've walked through the ground
Oops.
because like the angled polygon says the ground's here, but then you walk through the polygon and or look underneath the polygon and there's the ground underneath that you're actually walking on, but you're walking through this random polygon. And then so it's like I'm losing graphic fidelity as I continue to play. And so it's the game has crashed on me twice too, where it was like loading a level, it was like, all right, you did this, load. 20 minutes later, load, and eventually it's like, yeah, I just can't do this. And the compare's just like, yeah, I'm done. I'm sorry. So it's currently getting a new CPU, a new motherboard, and the CPU is going to be an i7 because the i5 I had just was like the bottom of the row, like in terms of being able to process this game. And so the computer, when I get it back, should be able to play this game with no problems.
Nice.
So that's the news happening on my end. So my wife is not happy because she wants to play Minecraft on my computer, and it's not here. So she cannot play Minecraft on my computer.
But tell her just how much faster and better Minecraft will look when you get it back.
Yeah, actually, it should, because there are times whenever you're turning around, and because there's so much loading, that stuff will be like she'll be going over the water, and then you can look straight down, and you can see everything because the water didn't load in that instant, and then it comes in, it pops in all of a sudden. So yeah, that means that once this gets done, it'll there should not be any more loading issues with it.
Nice.
So yeah, she might actually be happy in that regard. So we'll see.
Yay.
But I'm heading off to bed.
Night,
Everyone
Derek.
have a good night.
Good night, Dirk.
Well, how about you, Beardly Man? Beardly
right.
Man. Beardy Man.
um,
How are you doing, Mike? I'm doing Beardly.
yes. I'm very interested for the Final Fantasy stuff to show up on Arena. I hope it does. We'll see.
Wait, it's
'Cause they're
standard legal,
already,
so it has to show up on Arena.
yeah, I mean, you would think. Because there's already some things in here that I see. 'Cause on Arena, I basically only play Brawl on Arena. Like, that's it. I see some things in here that'd be really cool for some of my standard Brawl decks, but also, and I think it was brought up in chat earlier, one of my historic Brawl decks is a Tom Bombadil deck, and I'm very interested in seeing more summons
Ooh.
to add some of those saga summons in there. And I think putting Sin in the deck would also be really humorous to be reanimating random sagas from my graveyard.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, like Dirk said, I will not. It's almost a certainty that I won't be going out and buying physical copies of these cards, but I'm very interested in messing around with them on Arena. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I share Brian's exasperation at the 3-year cycle that's for standard rotations now. It's like I was already sick of seeing plenty of cards that were due to rotate out this year, and now they won't. And I'm already sick of seeing some new cards that are going to be around for 3 years instead of just 2. So it's like, whatever. Maybe some of these new ones will just become so popular that they drown out all those ones that I can't stand. And I don't see them as often anymore.
It's really sad when that's the hope.
Yeah.
Right then. So is that it for you?
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, as usual, let me thank our mythic lifeguards over on patreon.com/themanapool. Andrew Odie, ALK Alters, Jason Doan, Casey, Jason Kaus. A lot of Jasons in here. That's okay. You can trust these. Trust me. Violet Moon, Timio Hellas Haryu, Michael. Bet that guy's weird. Jake Jansons, Scuzzo, Kim Ho, and Al. Al keeps popping up in the Discord every few months to be like, all right, Hades 2 update. Still awesome. Because he's playing the, what's it called? Not the pre-release version. The early access stuff. Like, he started playing it as soon as it released. And whenever they release a new patch, he drops an update in the Discord to tell us, yep, it's getting better. Oh my god, I can't wait for it to come out fully. And I can't either because I plan on losing myself in Hades 2 when it comes out. But anyway, he just gave us an update a couple days ago. That's why. That's fresh in my head. But anyway, thank you to all of our lifeguards of every tier and Twitch subscribers. Just all of you out there. Appreciate you so much. Hoping keep this, as they say, rig rolling. Do I have a final thought? Mike, you remember how I keep talking about how much crap there is to do in Yakuza 0?
Yes.
I just unlocked a whole other thing that I didn't even know was a thing.
What's that?
Essentially a deathmatch tournament, blood sport tournaments, where Majima takes his shirt off and gets in the arena, and the different tournaments have different rules. Like, oh, on this one, there's a heater beneath the floor that gradually ramps up, and if the fight takes too long, when you get knocked down, you take extra damage and pop back up. Or there's just a crap load of stuff in the arena that you can use to beat the living crap out of your opponent. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. And yeah, there's an endless mode of that. So I was like, oh. So not only are there all these tournaments to do, but there's an endless mode. Oh. Pretty sure there's an achievement, or it might be a thing in the completion list of beating some number of opponents in endless mode. I was like, oh, that's what it meant. I thought it was something else. But no, it's actual get in there and fight. And you don't have access to your inventory, so there's no healing. You get a certain percentage of your health back between rounds. And these enemies are hard.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, I actually have to learn how to play this game. This sucks. And that just popped up. I was actually progressing the story, and then it unlocked the tournaments. And I was like, when it first showed it, I was like, oh, this character gets a catfight club too. Nice. This is not a catfight club. This is Fight Club. And I went, oh, that, okay, at least it's different. Oh, this is more stuff I gotta do. So, yeah. I'm almost done collecting all the porn, though, Mike.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got all of the cards. There's only one video left. And I just have to do a few more of the Cabaret Club, a few more rounds of the Cabaret Club to get that. And then I'm done with that. Although it's fun and it's a good way to get money. So I might end up keeping that going. But anyway. I'm playing a lot of Yakuza 0, in case you can't tell. I'm going to be on an upcoming School of Movies for Resident Evil 4. Both the original and the remake. So I'm super excited about that. Renee has been bouncing back and forth between Fallout 4, which I'm pretty sure I can hear her playing right now, and Legend of Dragoon, an old PS1 RPG. So that's awesome. Because my girlfriend is a giant video game nerd. Ah, that means I win. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much all I got going on is Yakuza 0 and watching Renee play Fallout and wander around in the wasteland. She's either falling out or gooning. Do not look that up on Urban Dictionary. But with that, that's enough out of us. So this has been episode 718 of the Manapool. Thank you all so very much for joining us. And don't poke the tonberries. Or poke them a lot before they... Don't get poked by the tonberries. I'm going to go now.